This is actually a really cool weight. I did not expect this to be like this in person, but that is actually really cool. So this is called the base. The base starts at about 170, but it looks like 211 if you want to go with all the fancy special edition colors and stuff. But realistically, I think most people will probably end up at, if you did want to just change the weight, 191. It's a 75% board, and this is by Keycaps. Keycaps also did the W70, and honestly, Keycaps been doing some great stuff. They've been a great vendor. I've had people come to me telling me all about their customer service with Keycaps and how great it's been, so pretty nice. But let's take a look at what's inside the bag here. So this is gonna be pretty simple. They already told me this is gonna have a pretty simple PCB with a pretty fixed layout, so I get it. But we have some different options here. We got Palm in the box. I'm assuming PC and aluminum, a gold weight. I'd say this is not the most gigantic weight in the world, but it has some heft to it. Oh yeah, this is the fun part about this board. I don't think you'll get all these in the box. I think these are just for demoing. But this is a board where you can kind of customize it with different badges. So we'll take a closer look at some of the cool badges, like that Nintendo one actually. The Game Boy's cool. Interesting little thought process there, as you can do that with different badges. I do believe this is wireless as well. And then we have some accent pieces you can swap out. And then it looks like our gasket tadpoles, or whatever you want to call them, gasket. And then we have our wireless receiver, which I can't use today. Oh, there's switches in here. We could also use these too. I didn't realize you put switches in here. Could also use these. These are the blue cheese ones. We've used these. These are really nice. Some more accents. Oh yes. The weight is really cool on this. What color is this? I like the pattern on this. This is actually a really cool weight. I did not expect this to be like this in person. I just thought it was gonna be like this and static like this. But that is actually really cool. The coating is okay. I've definitely seen a little bit of a better coating on some of the more expensive boards with these types of finishes. You can sort of see, I mean, there's not much handling that's happened so far. It looks like some hot spots with the coating if you have certain lights, but I'd say this is the light you're probably gonna use, and you're not gonna have a big studio light flashing on it, but just to, you know, really criticize it. I like the color though. It actually has some multicolor sparkles in it. I don't know if that's picking up either, but I hope it does. Kind of cool. Physically, I like the board physically a lot too. This is really nice. And these you swap out. So are these screw-in? Oh, these are magnetic. Cool. So these you can swap out. You can screw different badges in here. Alu with anno coating. Okay. So these are where the badges would go. And then you can swap these out for different accent colors. Is it just me, or are magnetic parts coming back? I've always been a fan of like little magnetic accents where you get a few options to pick from. Internally, this is a extremely flat, nothing going on inside, but I'd say this is pretty nice. Flat internals though, I would have loved to see maybe some stepped internals. However, the moment you start adding things like that, that's going to add a little bit more of machining cost. So I guess to get things priced down, I'm assuming we just go with simplicity here, which makes sense. I kind of appreciate these thinner bezels on the side. And then we have a thicker chin and forehead over here on the board. Side profile wise, what do we got going on again? I missed it. Basic box on wedge with a bit of a taper here in the middle. I'd say pretty standard fare when it comes to this. I really like this finish, yeah. And then base bar accents. So I'm assuming this is the base bar over here. This piece, this longer piece. So I'm assuming that's what that means over here. All right, let's put some feet on this, and then we can explore some other stuff with this board. But yeah, it's gonna come in a bunch of different colors. Flash black, flash white, and I'm assuming the flash just means sparkles. Pink, yellow, gray blue, gray, flash red, cream, special edition mech purple, and special edition mech blue. And then the accents all come in a variety of colors as well. And then I think you can buy a bunch of different badges. Oh, they come in packs for $15. So you get 4 for 15 bucks. This is a pretty no frills PCB. Would I have loved to see some options on this? Hell yeah. I would have loved to. I would have loved to see a few options. For what it's worth though, with all the other stuff you're getting in this package for about 170 bucks, I'm not super upset at it. I think it kind of, you know, fits into the price point. But if you did want to elevate the board even further, kind of like I mentioned, by putting some ridges on the inside to help break up some sound, then yeah, I think going with something like a few more options, even just the basics, is always a good thing to do too. And this is going to be PCB mounted. Is it as well as top mount? Yeah, there's screws there. So you can either do like a gasket or a top, which is interesting. Now I don't know what I want to pick. We'll try both mounting styles. I actually want to try top mount first. All right, let's open up the board. I think we start with top mount. This is an aluminum weight though, so it's a coated aluminum weight if anyone's wondering. And then I think the PVD one is the different material. I think that might be brass. It definitely feels a bit heavier. All right, so on the internals, it's also pretty well coated. There is a little bit of chipping around some of the screw points, which I'm not upset about. I'll show you guys that on the top view here. PVD is steel, perfect. Yeah, it definitely is a nicer feeling material. A little bit of chipping around that, you can see compared to some of the other. I'm not super mad about that at all though. And then there should be some extra density in this board though, because it has batteries. So this actually does have a fair amount of weight. All right, let's screw this guy in now, and then we'll change it up and go to gasket as well. And then we'll also do one with the bottom foam, depending on how well this sounds. I appreciate the length of this ribbon cable, tell you that much. Oh, that's cool. There's some little perforated holes here. Show off some LEDs. That's kind of neat. A little bit of bleed though, in case anyone's concerned about that. I think if there was a piece of foam or some sort of blocker to kind of get rid of some of that LED bleed, but that's pretty neat. Might be a good idea for that. I think it really helps clean up the board, and it just gives it the overall appearance of just something that, you know, is well thought out. I do like the way this looks already. I think this looks quite nice. We'll do this. We're gonna do the board right now in top mount, then we're gonna do foam. Then we're gonna take out top mount, we're gonna do gasket, and we'll take out the foam, and then we'll put the foam back in. So I wanna quickly swap out one of these. I wanna change one out here. So how do these change? You just unscrew them? I feel like let's do that one, and maybe something colorful on this side. I don't know if that'll take away from the keyboard. What do you guys think? Just the right one. We switch to this color. Does that look pretty cool? I kinda like it actually. And then I wanna swap out this one, and I think we just unscrew it. So let me get my screwdriver. I like the concept of this board. I think this works for me. I think this is a pretty fun concept. Oh, that's the slot for the receiver. Oh, that is so smart. Hold on. That is so smart. So you put this little receiver in here. Oh, stop. That's actually a really smart idea. That is super cool. All right, so let's see what it sounds like now, and then we'll swap out for something different after this. Swap out for the foam. But for now, let us see with the blue cheese switches on a palm plate. It's a little plasticky right now. I don't know if I love the palm on the top, oddly enough. Yeah, I like the alphas. I don't know if I love the space bar, but let me see something really quick. Did that have a mounting point on it? I didn't even pay attention. Actually, they're not that close, so I don't think that should affect anything. But now what I'm also curious about, and another way you can even test a keyboard too, is just... See, I like the sound without the bass on it, which makes me wonder if the flatter internals over here with the aluminum weight is causing some sound reflection that we don't necessarily like, which maybe in this case, I don't know about gasket, but for top mount, maybe we include the bottom foam. And it's interesting, foam doesn't always shape sound like you, I guess, can imagine it. If it doesn't already have a good bass, for example, like right now we're not loving the space bar. So I know this kind of goes against what I was mentioning earlier, but sometimes it does help to put some case foam inside a build. I know we didn't plug it back in, but I think this is already doing wonders for this. A lot better. Interesting sound profile, actually. I actually don't mind this spacebar. It's definitely a little bit plasticky still, but let's try a different switch, and then we can go into trying the gasket. Yeah, I was thinking maybe a milky yellow to kind of tone it down a little bit, but let's see. Might be too deep. I have a feeling it's probably going to be too deep. I feel like this might be a better spot for cherry. It's definitely deeper. Ooh, I kind of like that now. Fits, yeah. I agree, Gingy. There's still a bit of a plasticky sound, but I do think that's just because there's not a lot of density on the bottom. I'm gonna try one thing, which is remove both of the screw points. Yeah, they might be a little too close. And then this is without the spacebar mounting point. I would say roughly the same. So I don't think those did anything to improve sound at all, because they were sitting right over here. It's a little sharper. Let's try the gasket. Maybe the gasket's gonna be very, very different here. I have a better feeling about the gaskets, because I do like PCB mounted gasket stuff. And this is with no foam, by the way. This is gasket, palm plate. Oh yeah, that feels so much more open. Like you don't have to... Now I'm curious about the blue cheese spacebar. I'll type more, hold on one second. This is a lot nicer with gaskets. I feel like maybe the top mount doesn't work as well, only because it needs some extra oomph in the bass to give it some proper reverb maybe, but... Oh, that sounds really good with the blue cheese too. Oh yeah, this is... It's so much more full sounding. Oh wow, I really like this with this. Damn, this is truly night and day. Yeah, I don't, again, now that I've, heard the gasket versus the top mount, the top mount's not like the best sounding thing in the world. It's there, it definitely doesn't sound terrible, but I think this really shines with gasket. I just feel with the top mount, this keyboard needs, like I mentioned, something else extra on the internals to help break up some of that sound. Typically with top mount, there's a lot more metallic-y noises that it kind of feeds off of, so you kind of need to balance that by introducing some way the keyboard can introduce some bassy notes as well. But the gasket sounds... And this is with no foam too. Damn. We're still using blue cheese. It's no foam, palm plate still, and just as with the gasket mounts. And they're little gasket dumbbells. Okay, this is night and day. This sounds really good, Chester, I have to say. All right, now I want to see with foam inside of it. Interesting with foam. It sounds a lot more foamy now. I think I prefer it without. Like, it sounds really good with no foam. Okay. Not my preference, but I definitely think this absolutely shines with no foam. Absolutely, dude. And then I also want to see the top or the front height here. Let's see. 19.1 millimeters on the front height here. 170 bucks. Decent customized, well, really good. I shouldn't say decent. I'd say like pretty fun customization you can do with this. Good plate options. Wish the hot swap board had a bit more configuration here, but I mean, it is what it is. I have to say it on every project that I see just because I feel like it's valid criticism. But I think this is a really nice project. The weight is super interesting and unique. That is very unique. I kind of vibe with this little LED thing over here. I think that's cool. Definitely would have put something here to block some of the bleed there. Make it more concise. But bye everybody.